Welcome. In front of me I have the brand new released Samsung Galaxy Fold4, or more precisely Z Fold4, and today I'll go over unboxing along with just a quick overview of this phone. So anyway, I'll just pop it open. So as you can see, it's turning on right now. I'm gonna now quickly go over the actual specs of this phone. So I actually first need to look it up though. Ooh, nice battery percentage at start. Very nice. Anyway, let's just quickly find the languages right here. I'm gonna go through the setup really quickly just so we have something a little bit more to look at than the setup screen. Alright, it's Samsung, so I need to connect to the damn Wi-Fi on a device that costs $2,000. I'm forced to connect. Fantastic. Now I'll mention one thing right now while typing. The haptic feedback is really weak here. And it's not as strong as on other devices pronounced. It feels like it's just the motor is not the strongest thing here. But anyway, so to get started with the actual display that we're looking at right here, this is a 7.6 inch display. It's a foldable dynamic AMOLED 2x whatever display. Now in reality, just to shorten this out for a little bit less confusion, this is just a AMOLED display that folds with 120 Hz display refresh rate. That's basically all it is. All the other like foldable, dynamic, whatever, it means F-all, because it's just a jargon that companies use to make it seem like whatever they have is some brand new technology. It's not really. I have already chosen the network. So that is the inside display. And the other display, so if I close this, hopefully it will. There we go, I need to wake it up. So this right here, actually, I have to be honest, it seems a little bit smaller display than actually it does on videos. So yeah, this folded, or the cover display as it's called, this is again a dynamic AMOLED, whatever. Jargon. Now this is just a AMOLED display with 120 Hz refresh rate and resolution of 904 pixels by 2316. Well, the inside display, because I didn't mention the inside, has a resolution of 1812 by 2176. So there we go. Now outside of that, we have a triple camera setup at the back. We also have a selfie camera right here, which is kind of visible. There's like a little dot though. Is that dirt? Nope, it doesn't seem like dirt. Huh, that's weird. Oh, I know what it is. So it's... Oh, there we go. You can kind of see it right now. As you can see, it's like super bright. I think this is just a simple reflection from the lens that is under the display, which looks a little bit weird. But... Oh, there we go. Skip. So yeah, it looks a little bit weird at angles, but hopefully it's not going to be as visible when you normally use the device. Right now I'm just kind of seeing it because I'm looking strictly directly at the lens right here. But yeah, as you can see, this is the behind the display one. This is like their second generation, though it's still not as good as the ZTE's version of it. You can still see the pixelation on here without any kind of problem. It still stands out. It's way better than it was on a Fold 3, but still not as good as ZTE has it in their second generation. Oh yes, fantastic. I always love these Samsung. Skip out on all this. Yeah, no one cares about this. Maybe some people do, but I don't. Alright, and we have this amazing take care of your phone, so don't press it hard. Use only the stylus. What else? Don't fold it with things in between. Huh? Isn't this... I was pretty sure that this phone is dust resistant, considering it's also waterproof. But apparently it's only waterproof, based on the IPX8. It tells us to don't remove the protective film. This actually, at least on the Fold 3, it gives us this pop-up too. But in case of Fold 3, you could take it out because after a while it does come off. So just air gets under it, and eventually you just have to get rid of it because it's absolutely atrocious to look at your phone with like a weird white line right here. So hopefully if the screen protector starts coming off right here, you can remove it as well and substitute it for something else. Now there's two ways of doing it, just for people that might be interested in the future. You might though want to look a little bit deeper into it. Something might have changed between Fold 3 and Fold 4, but Fold 3 you could change it, and apparently Samsung claimed themselves that you could do it. In addition, I think you can also send it to them and they can do it for you. So at least in Samsung Fold 3, that would happen somewhere like 7 months of use for average people from what I've seen. So yeah, after 7 months you might be experiencing this kind of weird crease. Though in the Fold 4 they are using apparently some stronger adhesive and improved protection, this glass that they're using, or whatever they're calling it, some kind of weird glass. So yeah. Now anyway, let's get back to the actual cameras right here. So at the back, as you can see, we have a triple camera setup. Now, first time I guess in Fold's history, we actually have a semi-decent camera setup right here. It's still nothing like, I would say, that great comparing to I guess some other devices that have like their periscope lenses and stuff like that. So this I think is still a little bit further off from like the Galaxy Ultra, even though you pay nearly twice as much. So anyway, we have a 50 megapixel wide sensor, then we have a 10 megapixel telephoto and 12 megapixel ultra wide. So these are the back ones. Now we also have a 4 megapixel selfie in here. You can see that. For some reason you can always see it, which is not necessarily how you should be looking at it. Even when I'm looking at it directly, I can see a hole here, which yeah, there is no place where I can look at this where I don't actually see this hole punched camera. So that's a little bit Now I will mention it's not as pronounced as you might think, but it's still visible. It's just a different shade of color compared to the background. Like this is an AMOLED background, so this is completely black, completely turned off pixels. This is grayish in this case because it seems like there's nothing behind it, so it just kind of, maybe the light just shines through it a little bit. I'm not sure, but you can see it. Even on the camera, you can always see it too. So that's kind of how it looks like right now. And that's how I always see it. And direct sunlight where it's shining straight through it, like the light. So if I find that angle, it really becomes pronounced. Now, like I said, this is a 4 megapixel sensor, and if we fold it, we have another camera right here, and this is a 10 megapixel one. Now, truth be told, I think they could have just ditched the inside one, considering it doesn't take that great of a photos. Still better than the third one. When you have this, I guess I'm probably not in the minority that think that 2 selfie cameras are not necessary. I have one, I can utilize this one if I need to. This one just seems like a addition that doesn't really, for me, do much. Now, moving further on, in terms of the actual specs of this device, I think all the Galaxies right now will be coming with the Snapdragons instead of the Exynos. So this is rocking a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, I think Gen 1 or Gen 1 Plus. Let me quickly find it in this jumbled mess of info. Yep, this is just Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. Okay, so this is a little bit of an overclocked version of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. And we have Android 12L. So this means that this specific Android system that is running right here is more designed for foldable devices. So it should cooperate a little bit better with all the apps being folded, well, and like folding, as you can see. We do have also this little bar at the bottom, which you can see right here. So this is basically visible always. I think always, yep. And you can swap between apps right here really quickly. It kind of acts like a dock in a computer. You also have access to all the other ones, which is really nice. So this is one of the benefits of running the Android 12L. Now, moving on to the actual, like, apart from the system, the internals, we have several variants of this. I believe this probably what I have right here is the base version, though I might be incorrect. So we have at the very base version, 256 gigabytes of storage with 12 gigs of RAM, which, truth be told, I think this should be probably, in terms of RAM, enough for everybody. Now, in terms of storage, that will vary depending on the user. And I will say this right now, we do not have expandable storage, as you can see based on this tiny little SIM tray right here. So this is what you get. So 256, that's all the storage you will have on this phone. But you can spec it out up to a 1 terabyte of storage, which is insane, honestly. And obviously, if you also want to, you could utilize something like this. So just quickly grab one of these. There we go. So SD card. Now this is kind of like a last case scenario. Just pop in an SD card and you have a Type-C port. You can plug it in, transfer the data over to the SD card without any kind of problem. So this is for the people that really need the storage on the go. And obviously you can also read and write to it. So if you need more than what you have right now, you can utilize that. And what else is there to say? We do have a fingerprint sensor. And honestly, now just kind of the specs here are almost done, so I'm just gonna finish this off. 4400 milliamp hour battery, what is it, 25 watt fast charging, if you can call that fast. We also have fast wireless charging at 15 watts and reverse wireless charging at 4.5 watts, with a whopping price tag of $1,800. Now apparently, I haven't tested it out or never ever tried it, so I can't really vouch for it. Apparently, Samsung does have some insane trade-in deals, so if you give your older device and want to get one of the foldables, like the Z Flip4 or Fold4, you will get some really good deals on that. I haven't tested it out, so I don't know how good they are. I did hear that. Now, with that being said, the phone itself honestly seems like it's still the Galaxy Fold 3. It looks almost the same. The only difference is the little hint right here is a little bit slimmer. Unfortunately, I don't have a Fold 3 to compare it to, so there are people obviously on YouTube that do have it and probably did this video way better than I did, so yeah, self-awareness. But yeah, it's just slimmer, and that's about all the differences it is in here, and it's running better processor, a little bit more power efficient processor, so the battery life should be just a little bit better here than it was on the Fold 3. And honestly, that's probably the only worth mentioning differences, maybe also the cameras. But other than that, if you already have Z Fold 3, there is really no reason to upgrade it. It's virtually almost the same exact device, and like I believe probably everybody's saying, the lack of competition in Europe and US from foldable devices is right now becoming a little bit annoying, considering Samsung can just pump out this garbage right here. And I mean that by just the price to the differences that you get over the third one. And still people will most likely buy it at $1,800. Mind you, Z Fold 3, which is not much worse than this, and almost looks identical to this, costs half of that. I think for everybody who thinks logically, if you don't need the latest and greatest and you want a foldable device, obviously there is not many options in terms of like this form size. And if you have to pick one, I would probably go with the Z Fold 3. That is honestly what I'm want to pick up soon myself. I was waiting for this to release, but because the changes aren't that great, I think I will stick with the Z Fold 3 instead, just because that price difference is way too good to go for this. And obviously, if you live like in a third world country, somewhere outside of US, obviously, you probably value your money a little bit more than spending, what is it, like 3 months worth of paycheck. At least that would be probably for me, somewhere around those lines, on a phone. So yeah, I prefer to spend just a single month of it. So yeah, anyway, I guess this kind of concludes the overview of this device. And like I said, I think Fold 3, if you don't have any and you want to get something a little bit cheaper, will be better. If you don't care for money, obviously this will be good. If you're looking for other devices foldable like this, I'm sorry to say, but there isn't very many of them. The only other phones that come to my mind that you can probably buy are from Xiaomi. So Xiaomi will be releasing the Fold 2, or it's called, I think, Mi Mix Fold 2, and that hopefully will be good. But other than that, most of the foldable devices that are released are usually China only, unfortunately. And they seem to be fairly good, which is also a bit of a bummer for everybody else who is looking for some kind of competition to this kind of market. But anyway, with that being said, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.